Hey boys and girls, welcome back. It's me, Keith the Misprint Guy, and welcome to week 48, in which I share with you all kinds of strange and unusual cards from a game called Magic the Gathering. Misprints, test prints, if there's something downright weird with it, I want to share with you. So now what do I have for you this week? Well, I had this subject and I'm thinking, man, there's no way I haven't covered this thing yet. Well, the reason being is it's because it has to do with fallen empires. And now if you've seen my other videos, it's like, wow, there's quite a few that you have to, that you've talked about that have to do with fallen empires. One of the things that I covered was a fallen empires card that has the wrong game on the back. And then of course, I covered miscuts, and there's a nice miscut fallen empire card. And then of course, crimps, all these sets with little crimps. It's kind of hard to share there on the video, but there's of course the crimp stuff. And then the card with the front, and then a front and the back. And you think, alright, really? Is there more? Yes, that's actually the truth. There is more. Now what I have for you this week that has to do with fallen empires are cards that have a front over another front. Now in this case, the back is just fine, but on this side, we have a front over a front. Now, I don't know how many of you were actually playing during Fallen Empires, but the way that Fallen Empires was printed, there's only two different sheets. There are commons and there are uncommons, and they are of different degrees of rarity. So, you only had two different sheets to deal with, which I guess for some aspects made things a little more simple, but those two different sheets just literally got printed right over top of each other on one card. So, every Fallen Empires card you can think of, and for those of you that are fairly new, you might think of High Tide, Goblin Grenade, Hymn to Torak. The rest of the set, the rest of the set's not all that good. But, it was okay back in the day, but Fallen Empires, they just printed so much of it. And that probably explains why we have so daggone many errors. But, simply put, every card you can think of is affected. We have a card printed over another card. So, there is commons and uncommons that are affected, in which obviously they share a card. Now this card right here is a red card printed over a green card, and they are very hard to figure out what two cards they are just because it's one big jumbled mess. But this is a Dwarven Armor over a Spore Cloud. Yeah, I'm sure you both of those cards strike some memories there now, don't they? And this is a green card over a red card. The green card is an Elvish Farmer, which was actually an okay card back in the day. And the red card, it's an Orc of some sort. And this card right here is a white card printed over a blue card. Now, due to how this was done, showing what I see here, it seems to me like the common cards were printed first, and then the uncommon cards were printed second because they seem more pronounced. So it seems like just being printed over top of each other, that kind of lends me to believe, just by the way things look, that the uncommons were printed second and they're more pronounced. Now obviously with a situation like this, I have white printed over a blue, so the blue is a little more pronounced because blue is darker than white. But if you see enough of these, you kind of figure it out. Now the thing is, these are reasonably easy to find, and they go for about $100. But of course, the three cards that I mentioned earlier that everyone actually likes, those go for more. So it just depends. But here's the thing, I can confirm that there are multiple copies. If you try really hard, you might be able to get 4 or 5, maybe even 6. It's hard to say, but there is a small amount of every card that exists. And I can confirm it's at least 4. So, with 121 cards on a sheet, and then they're printed over top of each other, there's several hundred of these, so finding one isn't difficult. You just have to go ahead and buy one. But if you try really hard, they're not impossible. So, there you go. Yet another Fallen Empires mistake, and I think I've covered them all. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, you feel free to get a hold of me. And since I still have your attention, at least I think I do, I am one card away from finishing my Wyvern back set. This set right here with this on the back, that's the Wyvern back set, and I think I covered that very early on, like week 3. Now I am only missing one card, and it happens to be this card right here, this Thorn Thallid. So of the 121 cards that exist, I have 120 of them. So if you have this card right here with Wyvern on the back, with that on the back, please let me know. I will be forever grateful. And you know, other than that, questions, comments, concerns, you feel free to get a hold of me, and I will talk to you soon. So take care.